Hello everybody, David here over at Journey, Ohio, bringing you another war recap. Today's war was against A.E. Bactrungnam. Sorry for the butchering of that pronunciation. Looking forward to a couple more wins so we can get this red off our war log, I'll tell you that much right now. As you can see, 61 to 71, it was a little bit of a beating. These guys are level 10 clan, and if you take a look at their stats, 280 wins, 50 losses. That's a pretty good record overall. Warlog's not terrible. I'm not sure why they didn't put up more of a fight for us. Obviously, one way you do it is you don't use all of your attacks. That's certainly one way you don't put up as much of a fight. It was over pretty early. They had this interesting tactic where they were attacking a lot of us with lower level bases, just going for 2. And I think this maybe is their standard play. They'll attack us with lower level bases. They put 2 stars on me. I have an anti-3 base, so Town Hall out on the edge. Same with Sam, anti-3 base. Use a lot of lower seeds to get some of these easy 2 stars. And then they'd use their top guys to try to hit low and clear. And I guess that works against a lot of clans, just 2-star up top, and then try to 3-star down bottom for the win. That obviously doesn't work on Journey, because what we're going to do is we're going to 3-star you up top to go along with your 2 stars. So we had a great war at the top, great war at the bottom, some struggles there in the middle, which is becoming a little bit of a theme for us. But overall, 2 stars on there, 1, 3 stars down through the tops. We had a really nice war, and obviously everything cleared from there on down. Nice war overall. Want to highlight a couple of attacks for you today, as soon as the Clash decides it wants to load. There we go. 6-pack heroes, look at that! Yours truly up there on the 6-pack hero there. Twin did a nice job, but these are both dips. Jimmer had a 6-pack, but old news, Jimmer. Who else had a 6-pack? Gladiator did nice work, but those were dips. That's a 9 versus an 8. And Obe had a 6-pack. So Obe, David, and Jimmer for this war. I had 2 attacks. And, I try to show at least 1 attack from everybody that does a 6-pack. That's the least you can do, is be featured on the recap video, right? So I wanted to show one of my attacks on this war. I had attack on 5, which was just a beautiful, I'm sorry, a 6 on 6, which was a beautiful attack. It was a QueenWalk VaHo. It's one of the attacks I know the best. It was fully in control. It looked like I knew what I was doing. And then I had attack against 5, where a lot of stuff went wrong. And I was just in reaction mode the whole time. And of course the clan was unanimous that they wanted me to show 5. So let me talk quickly about the GoHo. Or excuse me, not the GoHo, the VaHo. And more specifically, let me talk about the QueenWalk VaHo, and what I look for in a base and what I generally try to do. I'm not sure if it's right, I'm not sure if it's wrong. It's been bringing me a little success lately. The first thing I do when I'm up against a base is I try to figure out where I think the giant bombs might be, right? And I'm kind of looking at these gaps over here, and I'm thinking, oh, those look kind of giant bomby. That's the official term for it. So my plan going in is, obviously QueenWalk. When you have a level 30 queen, let's QueenWalk it, right? My plan is queen starts here. I'm going to walk her right down this edge, nullifying this giant bomb, taking off some good defenses along the way. In order to make that happen, I'm thinking as soon as the archer tower locks on, I'll go funnel, 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 and clear these away. Once I have that cleared away, I can use a single hog to pull the CC out. Once this cannon and archer tower are away, I should be able to get a hog up to this air defense to pull out the CC, clear that out of the way, and then thinking about doing the Valk insertion. I'll go pink for my redheads. I'm thinking about doing the Valk insertion right around, the Valk insertion right around here on the corner with an easy funnel on the camps. Get her in there and try to jump her up to the point that I can at least get one of those expos and the queen inside the Valk range, heal, rage, go through my normal stuff. That was my plan coming in. And we'll follow along and see what actually happens. So down comes the queen. Queen is down, and she starts the walk. Minions are down trying to create that funnel. Queen steps up to the archer tower. No big deal, no big deal. And she's stepping up to the cannon, and at this point, once again, my classic move, not waiting for the minions to finish before I drop the queen. I need to give them a few more seconds. The queen stepped up for a second, and now I realize what's going to happen is she's going to be walking up this way. And I'm not going to be neutralizing the giant bomb locations. So I am stressing about that, trying to reformulate a plan on the fly. I see a dragon come out of the CC. My queen's already plenty low on her own, so I popped a rage. I didn't think the ability was going to keep her up long enough to deal with her current damage plus the dragon. Dropped 2 poison on the dragon. I was expecting the king to engage. Finally, the king does engage. I'm not scared even though my rage is ending because I've got that king poisoned up. It's a nice double use of the poison on the dragon and the king. And now the king's down and I'm thinking about the rest of the walk and trying to figure out where I'm going to put my entry point. And lo and behold, 2 more loons come out of the CC, which was a surprise. I thought my queen, when she was in here, had pulled the loons out. But it turned out those are my minions that pulled out the dragon. So the CC was not partially filled as I had been dreaming, and so here come a couple loons. Well, I don't want to take a chance with those loons, so when they get close, first I see if the queen will lock on. Clearly she won't. Plus give my healers the sweeper, which is fantastic, so I've got to pop the ability to keep the queen up. And now I'm coming down to this corner, and I'm rapidly trying to replan, and I'm saying to myself, okay, well, I guess I'm going to be running the Valks through the giant bombs. That's just the way it's going to be. So let me set up my funnel and just do this thing. And I'll get in there and I'll try to run the CC Valks. I've got 3 max Valks and 3 wall breakers inside my clan castle. I said to myself, I'll run my CC Valks through any giant bombs that might be in this passageway. And then at least that'll clear the ground for the rest of my Valks. And so that's what I do. A couple Valks down, a couple wizards down to funnel. And of course, those CC Valks that I planned on going through the giant bomb decide they're going to head for the corner hut, which I had seen, but I honestly didn't recognize that was going to be where they were heading. Plus my wall breakers blew open the wrong wall. So nothing's going according to plan. So we're moving on now. I'm actually getting really decent value out of my Valks and my funnel whiz. We're going to actually neutralize the buildings on the other side. I redrop my regular Valkyries to get them into the base. They're there. I drop a heal on them, which is required. My queen's taking monster damage. So I quick rage up my king, get him inside that heal, try to draw some defense away from that queen, bring the hogs in. Now all that I'm thinking about is I've blown through my king ability, I've blown through my queen ability, I've blown through my heal, I've blown through my rage early keeping the queen up. I've got 1 heal left. How can I maximize? And this is finally, I think, my first really good move of the whole raid. I identify if I can put a heal down right through here, it looks to me like that's the wall that most of my Valks are going to end up banging on. Plus, that's the way my hogs are going to be filtering. Maybe I can get 2 for 1 credit on my heal. And so they're coming down, coming down. Queen's taking care of that expo. There goes that heal. And I'm getting a nice value. King, and there's a bunch of Valks alive up in there banging away. And here come the hogs right into that section. Nice value from that heal. Got double credit for that heal. In come the king. Funnel wizards down on the sides. That 1 giant bomb does blow up. The other giant bomb is going to be dodged completely down here. The giant bombs on top were neutralized by the wizards that were supposed to be doing the funneling. And now, amazingly, we're in cleanup. And so there you go. That was a few minutes in the mind of David, as basically nothing goes according to plan. But compensate, compensate, keep that queen alive. Handy with the rage, handy with the queen's ability. Bring that king in there to rage up and try to move through to draw some firepower. Change the funnel. Lots of adjusting on the fly. Nice heal at the end. Pretty good jump spell as well in order to pull out the 3-star. So that was my 3-star with a little extra commentary, since I could at least tell you what was going on inside my head. I promise the attack on 6 went according to plan. Next I'll show Jimmer, one of our 6-pack heroes. He's got kind of a strange base here. He's going to be doing a GoHo, of course. Standard Jimmer composition. 4 heal, 2 golem, 23 hog. CC witches, no doubt. You know, I've seen him do this a million times. He's got a king and a queen down here at the bottom. This base has been hit before. We have not identified the bombs because I believe it was an air hit. But obviously you've got to assume something funny up here and then maybe something in the core. It's strange though. I mean, this is not a great base. With the double wall, it's unclear which way the hogs are going to want to go. It's a weird looking base. But you know what Jimmer's going to do? Hog down to pull the CC. Then he's going to put down something to lure it, or he's just going to go straight to the witches. He could have put down one archer to lure, but I guess the CC was pretty close to the edge. Plus the queen to help. So the dragon and the loons are going to be focused on those skeletons. Poison down to get the CC and both heroes. What great value for that poison. 2 golems on the edge for the funnel. Classic. If he didn't have all of his whiz deployed, he would have put a few more whiz around the golems to help with the funnel in. And real soon now, these are earlier hogs than Jimmer usually deploys. But it makes a lot of sense in this case because remember our rule, we wait for the queen to be engaged, we wait for the CC to be wiped out, and that's already happened. It happened early on this base. So even though the hogs are earlier than we usually see, all the objectives that needed to be accomplished have already been accomplished. We've got 4 heals. Here comes the first one on the hogs. Lots of heals laying around. The king is going to walk around the outside because the funnel wasn't great. The hogs start to split a little bit, so Jimmer, no problem. He's going to compensate with a double heal, 1 for each. No problemo. These hogs are coming up to that giant bomb location, and indeed, a bunch of them die. He puts down a heal there, which there's just a couple hogs up there with some skeletons. Not many poison for the skelly, just a couple hogs left over there. A couple hogs up top hit the spring traps. And now this raid doesn't look like it's necessarily going too well. You know, one of those heals didn't get a lot of value. The hogs are all dead. There's wizards up here that are all going to die. Only a few skeletons there. But Queen 26, King 22. We've got a witch still up over here. We've got a witch still up over here. We've got a golem banging on a wall over here. And as it progresses along, you know, talking to Jimmer afterwards, he basically just bum rushed the space. By the time the hogs ran into the double bomb, I mean, they had already split once and then split twice. So really only a third, maybe 40% of his hogs got taken out, and the rest of it just demolished 2/3 of the base. So what was left was an easy cleanup then for the heroes and the witches and the whiz that came behind. It was a great example of just bum rushing that base, taking down enough of it, including the enemy heroes, before the giant bombs had a chance to really do too much damage. And the other thing he got lucky on, I will say, is what happened to the other 2 giant bombs? Where were the other 2 giant bombs on this base? Those 2 went off. I don't for the life of me know where the other 2 bombs were that I thought were going to wreak havoc. But Jimmer got away, man. Once again, he keeps calling himself the luckiest guy in the clan. But at some point, with over 1,000 war stars, like 1,024 war stars now? What is it? 1292, excuse me? I think at some point it's not just luck anymore. Alright, next base to show is my man Hitman, 12 on 16. So we're going to have another QueenWalk VaHo here, something a lot of us have been practicing lately. 19 queen is no joke, can't wait for 20. 4 healers. I don't remember offhand what's inside the CC. He's got 4 Quake, and as you see, he's going to use it right here on this middle section. I'm not a huge Quake fan, especially not against these walls, but it is going to open up a big compartment, get access to 2 expos, get access to 2 ADs, get access to the king, so I think the Quake is justified. Before he does the Quake, he's going to let down the queen, which I think makes a lot of sense. Possible giant bomb here, possible giant bomb here. Really, any way she walks is going to be neutralizing giant bombs. Once the queen is down, then he lets the Quake because he doesn't want the timer to keep ticking. So the middle section is all blown up now. And now we're doing the walk. We've seen this queen walk before. 4 healers on a 19 queen, not taking any point damage. Taking care of the mortar. Enemy queen steps up, but again, queen not taking any direct fire, no problem. Now she's taking fire from 2 sources. Only 2 wall breakers in, and one of them didn't make it, thanks to the cannon, I believe. So he has a wall breaker fail, so he's not going to be able to slip the queen into this spot. I think he wanted to get the queen in here and wipe out all the threats so he could neutralize every bomb location at once. So we got a wall breaker fail. Pro tip, bring extra wall breakers, kids. He does use the Hog to pull the CC. He used his queen ability early, though. Would have preferred the rage when your queen is in trouble, and then the ability to handle the CC. Would have preferred the ability for the CC. Because even though the queen's raged up, Wizard, Dragon, Loon all targeting the queen, it was too much for her. She's down. So now let's look at the recovery by Hitman. He realizes the queen's down, so he immediately moves to start setting up his funnel. He knows he's got no time to waste. So looks like 5 wizards down trying to set up the funnel, but he lets those Valks go early. And so now we're in a little bit of an interesting place. We've got CC Valks and a king, and I think 1 CC wizard going through a hole that the king bashed through the base, and then the bulk of his Valks are on the outside cruising around this edge. So things are not going swimmingly. The Valks then split again, which is actually good news for him because they're starting to converge. CC wizards plus his wizards take out that pesky dragon. The healers are now all dead, but because he opened up that middle, and we knew there was going to be a spring there, right? Because he opened up that middle, it's a huge open area now, and these Valks are starting to run free. And it's a good thing, too, because we're all out of spells. He got fortunate there with 1 Valk tripping a giant bomb, more giant bombs. Hogs come in from the edge. I think he could have waited 1 extra second to try to get more of those point defenses on the Valks. His main herd of Valks, remember, never went in, but is cruising up the edge of the base. And I think this is a story of why it's good to upgrade your walls. Because these Valks are all on the outside. We've got all this defense here. This one lone Hog isn't going to be able to do much damage. And if this guy, Binby over here, had some decent walls up, I think it would have done a lot to prevent the mass destruction that's coming. Because now, the Valks decide they want to come in because the entire perimeter has been cleared, and boom, done deal. Now, you're not going to be able to stop that many Valks easily, but it just takes 1 swipe. And so they're in, and it's a clear. I'm telling you, Hitman's at his best. A 2-minute, 54-second clear. See, I'm not saying the walls would have kept them out. I'm saying if it had been 6 more seconds delayed, it would have been a fail. I'm telling you, Hitman's at his very best when that queen goes down early. Travis, I'm telling you, something kicks into gear when your back's against the wall. And finally, for our last replay, let's show Obe TH8 versus TH8. And you can see right away from the spell composition that's been brought, we're going to see a ZapQuake on one of the ADs. Based on where the sweeper's pointing, you can guess she's going to be ZapQuaking this AD since it's the least convenient one. And then the other thing she did that I love to see is for their other spell selection, she brought the heal and the CC Hogs. And she realizes, she's looking at this last air defense over here, or the second air defense over here, and she sees no space for spring traps. There's something over here that I guess could conceivably be 1 giant bomb. But she realizes if she's going to be able to lay down some Hogs here, they're going to cruise in, and she covers them in a heal. She's going to be able to take out that other air defense, leaving her with 1 air defense and some CC troops that she'll handle with poison. So this is a really nice plan. It's a really nice usage of the spells that she's bringing. ZapQuake, as expected, would have preferred that ZapQuake deployed after the dragons so that the clock wasn't going. Uses the king to funnel on the left side. Out comes the dragon and the loon. Down comes the heal and the Hogs. Heal and the Hogs could have been maybe a second earlier before that AD got quite as much fire off. Hogs are in there. There is 1 giant bomb, but the heal means it doesn't matter. Down goes that air defense. Poison on the CC dragon and CC loon, and now the dragons are just running free. And at this point, I guess they have 1 CC dragon that could cause some kind of trouble. Even though she didn't bother funneling on the right side, she didn't really have to because she knew she got all the air defenses taken care of. And now we're just hanging out waiting for the clear to finish. My favorite is the loon just chilling. Look how long that loon stays alive. And even though it's taking a while to get here, in my opinion, she was never really in danger once all those air defenses go down. Down goes that, and plenty of time left. Dragon takes care of that hut. dragon cakes there, that hut. So great plan, great execution. Way to be deliberate about your spell selection and the air defenses you're going at. Love those level 6 hogs. So, that's our recap against AE Bactrungnam here. Exciting recap there. It was a bit of a blowout. I'm hoping our war today will be a little bit better. Can't wait to bring you this recap against Upside Down Omega Dash Curly Teve. So that will be coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. Until then, insert catchy tagline here.